Welcome everybody. I'm super happy to have you, all of you here with us. My name is Rotem, I'm 28 and I'm from Israel. Just before we start, and you will understand who is Inon and what's going on in this screen right now. I wanted to share with you Inon and Stav. Stav, also if you can raise your hand. So I wanted to share with you what was the idea that started and what we are actually doing right now here. So I'm part of an initiative that started by a group of Israelis. It calls COVID-19 Solutions. It started during the coronavirus pandemic. And all of us as young Israelis understood there are a lot of initiatives, ideas, solutions that came up during the corona. It was a very creative time. And we decided to create a platform. We established a site that actually concentrates and is sharing with the world a lot of different practical tips. It can be ideas, it can be thoughts, it can be anything that can help to deal with the daily life of the during the coronavirus. What we are actually trying to do is to create a digital community that is going to be a movement maybe someday of people that will be consist with people from all over the world, and they will be able to share with each other different ideas and knowledge. Think about that. We have here people from Argentina, from Chile, from South Africa, from Brazil, from many places in the world. And each and every one of us is coming from another culture and another country. We're living in a different, states of minds. And because of that, we have different opportunities to share different knowledge, and we are also facing with different challenges in our daily life during the coronavirus. We started to establish a site. Actually, it was we hurried up to do it, but by the way, you're more than welcome to enter our site. It's called covid19solutions.org. Today, we're going to host a session. This is our second session. Yesterday, we hosted 3 different speakers, amazing speakers that share with us their solutions, their initiatives, their startups. But today, we're going to host Inon and Stav. They're part of Project 1021. They're going to explain better than me. But a personal story or maybe a personal sharing with you. So during the coronavirus, they started a super amazing initiative that I had the opportunity to take part of. It calls the Human Blender. And it actually answers on a very acute need that came up during the corona, and this is the social distancing. As a person who feels very social, who likes to socialize with people, we really believe that we need a social connection, maybe physical connection, maybe to create different friendships with people. And what Inon and Stav did, they succeeded to start a community that meets every Friday's noon, all together, hundreds of people in a Zoom meeting, the Human Blender. And what they actually succeeded to do is to create intimacies through the screen, just like they gave us the opportunity to look at each other's eyes and to feel what is a real connection after a very long time of pandemic that we didn't really have time to do it. So I don't want to talk too much. I want to pass the mic to Inon or Stav. You can introduce yourself, and just like people, I would say one more thing. Try to think how you can participate the most. Open your cameras, microphones are on. Feel like you are in the middle of a campfire, sitting all together, looking at each other's eyes and creating intimacy through the Zoom. It is possible.
Meet you all. I just want to ask you before we start to put yourself on a gallery view so you could see everybody else. and maybe even like turn on the camera so we can see you all. I would say in advance, you're gonna participate, like Rotem says, all day long. So you need to be with us for this 1 hour. And before we start and before we introduce ourselves, I want to start with you for a minute. So I want into each and every one of you to look on somebody on the screen that you don't know. If you want, you can move with the how do you say chetzim? You can move between the screens and find someone that interests you. Okay, just look only on him. And now I'm going to ask you some question, and all you need to do is to think about the answers about this person. Okay, so the first question is, where do you think he or she grew up? Okay, you try to imagine everything. I mean, the house, the place, whether it was a countryside or a moshav or a kibbutz or whatever it is. Big house, small. The same person. The second question is, what is her or his favorite thing at the world? Like the thing that he likes to do the most. Okay, think about it. We continue. Let's say he or she was writing a book. What was the head title? The next question. What is her or his most like repeated song at Spotify? His favorite song. Next and last question. Between all the siblings in her or his family, where is he? The first one, the last one? Why do you think like that? So now that you already know each other, even for a bit, even in your imagination, we can start this day. And I will let Inon, my partner, explain a bit about ourselves, what we do, what is the Human Blender, although Rotem already said it amazingly. And then we're going to start. You're going to feel it just on your skin. We're not going to talk about it. You're going to feel it. You're going to explore it. And you're going to end this session with, for at least 2 or 3 people here that you're feeling a bit more intimacy with. And that's about it. We just want to visualize all around the world and see where you're from. Wow. So we have a lot of people from South Africa and Israel, which is very small, and we have a lot of color. United States, Alaska, Mexico, India.
A bit of background. Hi, my name is Inon. My Starbucks name is Ian, if it's easier for you guys. But a bit of about Project 21. We found that it's a social business that we teach New World skills to our generation. Basically, what you haven't been taught at schools. And we do it very practically. Okay, like what do you need out there, and what skills you need to establish. This Human Blender was created because of this, and you'll see that through connections and through building and established trust, we actually create in the world. We create with people that we trust. You'll be willing to found a company with a friend that you grew up with because you know how he thinks, you know the rational, their thinking process, rather than someone with a better skill set, for example. And the Corona brought a new reality that we needed to be proactive toward. The problem, as you saw, was 3 things as we measured: loss of necessity of each and every one of us. We lost our identity, our titles, our jobs, we were stuck at home, we need to reinvent ourselves. Just to remember how many times you heard reinventing yourself in these times. Passiveness. How many Zooms were you and watched? How many lectures and so forth until you couldn't go any longer? So the passiveness was one of the things that we wanted to address, and lack of human connection, as Rotem said. Okay, genuine, real human connection. All of those, we knew that if we could solve those and address this problem, we can lead to real creation in the real world. The solution was exposed learning, and you'll experience it today. We'll explain what we do. So in every meeting, we teach something, starting from, practical creativity, intimacy, zone of genius, how to form tribes and so forth, storytelling, and many more. But you do it through spaces and questions that you interact with others. So the exposed learning just fasten the learning process. And the impact you can read. Okay, this is a glimpse of the feedback that we receive after meetings. People just say, "Listen, I had many Zooms this week, but I was able to create something, a real, genuine connection that I was lacking." And this was the spark. And after every meeting, people continue on connecting with others, and actually projects and personal initiatives were born from that. Okay, stop. Okay, so today, what will happen? We're going to practice practical intimacy, not just intimacy in the romantic form, but rather in a practical form. Again, I remind you, in order to establish creativity and initiatives and entrepreneurship in the real world, we need to establish trust with other people in a fast way. Okay? It's a very new world things. When we say 3 layers, you'll see what we mean, but the layers are with me and myself, me with someone else, interpersonal, and me with the public, with others. Okay? This is the rational. And we're going to experience a different human connection. Listen, Zoom is not the real world, it's something else. Okay? And one of the mistakes that people do is they take the real thing and say, let's do it in Zoom. And it's like vegan. The biggest mistake is doing a vegan hamburger. It's not a burger, it's something else. And I'm saying this because if you want to take what we teach you today to your communities, okay, remember this. We're going to learn how to expand your bandwidth with others. Okay, we're going to explain it in a bit in order to establish deeper connections in the shortest amount of time, to create genuine space for creation, and being anti-fragile. Anti-fragile is a term by Thomas Friedman. It's the opposite of fragile. And the opposite of fragile is not being resilient. It's something that every hit, every crisis that it encounters, it becomes stronger, like evolution. Okay, and these skills that we teach, the concept is to build you as anti-fragile. That whatever happens outside, okay, will become stronger and stronger, okay, from every interval.
So right now, I want you to open your chat and write the answer to this question when you will be grown up. A prime minister, a writer. Emmanuel wants to be me, great. Mo wants to be a rock star. Eyal, a fireman. Mustafa wants to be a pilot. Okay, Martin, a doctor. Carolina, a vet. Elisheva, a writer, amazing. Diving instructor, nice. I want to be a detective. I wanted to be a detective, and good for us all, I didn't. So we're gonna move to the next stage. You can still write if you didn't have the time to. Now, before we start, every time we do this session, we have to do a check-in. Why? Because there is, we need to build the trust between us and to feel, like when you go to a real lecture and then you have to sit next to each other and then to talk a bit before and to feel comfortable with even one person and to make yourself at home. So in Zoom, you don't have it. So we want to make it for you. So this is why we're doing a check-in, okay? 3 minutes, 3 people, 1 question. Each and every one of you have 1 minute to answer this question. How do you arrive today? You can do it like emotionally, physically, where did you came from, whatever you want, take it wherever you want. Just answer this question. I want you for a minute just to write on the chat, how would you describe intimacy? Define intimacy. If it's hard in English, you can just turn on your mic and speak, it's fine. So you can see each other's answers, strong bonding, trust, deep talk, listening, real conversation. Nice, amazing. Inon, in just a bit, will explain you how do we define it and why, and how it is connected to this period of time, specifically the Corona time and generally this age that we live in. But you have amazing answers. Wow. Inon, let's take them.
Okay. So as I said earlier, when we speak about intimacy in this prism, is the ability to establish an authentic space built on trust. Let us pass it on. With anyone, anytime, that may lead to co-creation. Okay, this is important. I'll give you an example from the Corona. One of the best friends that I had was Lisanne van den Wunderen, okay, a Dutch traveler that I met in Cusco, in the rafting over there when I was 23 years old. And we spent 2 days together. I'm sure that you had these ones in your trip, and we had a really deep connection. Okay, you know these guys, you know these people that you walked in a trail with for a day, but you were in the same frequency. There was a connection. And now she's a PhD in Amsterdam University. And before the Corona, she came to Israel, and she stayed with us for a month. And when she came back to Amsterdam during the Corona, we were able to build a course for students in Amsterdam University. And today we signed the deal with Amsterdam and Rotterdam University for a course about New World skills for business students. And this connection was established on a rafting boat in Cusco, Peru. Okay, so that's a rationale that we're going to practice today. How through deep connections we can lead to creation and entrepreneurship in the world.
Great. So now I would ask, I would just explain in 1 sentence, what is your bandwidth? I'm sorry about my spelling. And then we're gonna do a small activity. So your bandwidth is your ability to connect to each and every person in the wide of your connection, of your communication skills. So if I have someone who I'm only like laughing with, or that friend that I can only talk like deep conversation with, if you know what I mean. I just want to see all of your faces. So hi. So think about your people in life. In each and every one of them, we have a different bandwidth, okay? Some of them I can talk just about one subject. Some of them I can talk about everything. And your ability to make that bandwidth wider or smaller as you wish is your power to make your connection like deeper and more like airlines and less like give and take relationship. So now what I want you to do is take a pen and a pencil if you have. If not, you can do it in your mind, and choose 6 5 persons, 5 people from your life that you're feeling great intimacy with, like a great connection with. It can be from your family, your colleague, your friend from home, your friend from something that you do after, I don't know, after in the later of the day. Just 5 people. Try to do it as different from different areas you can. Okay, everybody has them.
It could be your grandma and your colleague from work.
Exactly.
Can you say it again, please? Sorry.
Yes.
Sure.
Choose five figures from your life. Okay, mother, father, grandma, close friend, a colleague, a person you met at while traveling. Okay, write just their title, and then Stav will ask you questions. And what you need to do is mark from 1 to 5 how comfortable you feel talking with them about this specific topic. Okay, that's it. And then you map out your bandwidth with different figures.
So, can we start? Try to write down like the 5 people, like one after the other. And we have something like 5 or 6 topics to talk about. So put a room to the V's and X's that you want to do. So the first topic is, would you be able to ask this person for money, to borrow some money? Okay, it could be for any cause, but would you feel comfortable to ask him for money? Okay, great. So every one of them, if it's cool, put a V. If it's not, an X. And then the second subject is, can you talk to him about a story that still doesn't have an end for you? That you feel a bit like crunching the stomach, you don't know how it's gonna end, you don't feel comfortable with.
Sorry, what's the question? Can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. Can you talk to this person about a story that doesn't have an end yet, that you don't know how it's gonna end, you don't feel comfortable with? The third one is a failure that you feel. It could be in any area topic, but something that you feel like you failed at, whether you would talk with them or not. And the fourth one is, and it's a tough one, would you talk with them about your sexual fantasy? I can see your eyebrows go like...
I marked my grandma's, yes.
Exactly. Okay. And 2 more. Would you share a dark joke with him or her? Okay, so laugh about something that you're not supposed to laugh at. And the last one is talk about death. Okay, great. So now what I want you to do, just try to see if you have with every person a lot of V at every subject, you will put your hand up high in the camera like this. Okay, look at me like this. If not all the subject with all the people are like check, you put your hand here. And if it's like somewhere in the middle, you put your hand here. Okay? Understood? Go. Great. So you can look, you can check and switch between. Nice. Okay, so most of you are somewhere around the middle. What you see now is exactly that. Okay, your ability to you can put your hands down. Your ability to decide and to act in order to make this bar higher will help you to gain more connection that are like deep and more valued in this life, in this era, in this generation. And the skills that you're gonna learn a bit today and practice a bit today is gonna help you to do so. Okay, to gain the ability to decide how wide is your bandwidth. what you're gonna do now, you're gonna divide again to groups, and you're gonna try to tell about yourself without titles, okay? Without the lines from your how do you say it, Kol Chaim, again? From your CV, okay? From your CV. You're gonna talk about yourself, but without the lines from your CV, okay? So is that understood? You need examples?
Yeah, we have a few examples.
Again?
Give you a few examples.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I can tell you a bit about myself, and and maybe will give you some more examples. But I can say that if you want to know me, the present that I'm gonna be most excited about is a book, and my favorite color is red. And you would probably see me when I'm happy, barefoot on the ground in places that you're not supposed to be barefoot in. And there is a few things about sex that I'm not. Just with your hand, how tough was it for you to tell about yourself without your headlines? Tell me like you know already, okay? So for some of you, very difficult. For some of you, not at all. Amazing. But just keep that in mind. How much time from our life we are trying to explain ourselves with this title that would probably is not like telling all about us, like the real us. And try to do it as much as you can. Try to explain about yourself without telling this, big headline stuff.
Smart questions. So what we're going to do now, we're going to divide into threes, okay? And what you're going to do is to raise a challenge that you face, that you want to solve. Now, it could be a personal challenge. I want to work online. I want to have a more meaningful connection, whatever. Or it could be like a bigger challenge, okay? Something social, something business-wise, and so forth. And after you describe the challenge, the other two just ask you for a minute as many questions as possible about this challenge. And you are being kept silent. So I'll give you an example. For example, my challenge is to, even before the corona, to reach 70% of my time to work from home. It's a challenge. And then for a minute, people can ask me, what is home? Is it especially from home, or it could be near home? The 70% at the time of the day, what kind of assignments do you want to do? Okay, with which one? Do you want people to come over, or you want to work online? How much do you want to earn? And so on and so forth. The concept is the volume, the amount of questions. And you'll see that you, just by being silent, you give the power of questions to sharpen your challenge. You'll see that after 40 seconds of questions, you'll think about your challenge differently. And this is something that you can take for, to your own life. It's a very powerful model to use, and it's worth the extra 3 minutes that we stayed together. Okay, clear? So we're going to divide into rooms of 3. You're going to present a challenge, whether it's personal or bigger, something that you wish to solve. And for 40 seconds, we'll tell you when to switch. The other two just ask you repeatedly questions about this challenge. And again, remember, the goal is don't stop asking questions.
As we always finish, I hope this session was good for you. Show me with, I don't know, somehow, if it was good for you and helpful. Amazing. Nice. Love it. So Inon is gonna put a song for us. And we have a tradition already for the Human Blender. And in this tradition, what we're gonna do, each and every one of you will get, just like we begin with, you're gonna grab someone in the eyes, okay? You can never know if they're with you or not, and it's fine, but you're gonna grab someone and you're gonna close your eyes only on him, and Inon is gonna put a song for us, a great song, and we're all gonna get up from our seats and we're gonna dance. And what will happen is that someone will do something and we're gonna follow him. Okay, just like in communication, sometimes you follow someone, sometimes you're the leader in the conversation, and this is what we're gonna try today. Okay, so dancing. If you see someone that you start new movement, just start a new one. Okay, just like your own initiative, and we're gonna follow you. So do that, and then we're gonna ask you one more last thing at the chat, and we're gonna get to the rest of the day. So, Inon, put a song for us. Everybody get it?
Focus on the headline. Focus on the headline.
Yeah.
We gon' leave the dime. Make it all look fine. If you all don't mind, focus on the headline. I wanna see the young when they're telling me lies. I wanna see the truth when they bring up the eyes. I wanna see it when I bring up my show. I wanna see it now, I wanna see it. Let's go. I think it's about time. Time to fight this crime.
Guys, so everybody has a great day or night at your place. I would love you to just write in the chat whatever you take from this session. What do you feel right now in one word, in a sentence, whatever you want. It means the world to us, and it's helping us be valuable for you again the next time we see you. And that's about it. You can also write your email if you want us to connect with you again. I believe maybe Rotem has it. And thank you for the time. And that's about it. Let's see whatever you wrote. Joy, mind-blowing, unpredictable. Wish it was longer. I wish it to. Grateful, was amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So sorry, Stav. Meanwhile, I'll just say tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week, next Tuesday, we will have another session. I think it's gonna be, well, not I think, we're gonna do another session also with the Blender, and we will let you know in the future. But next week on Tuesday, we'll have another session of different solutions during the coronavirus. We're gonna talk about the new normal, how the world is gonna look like in the post-corona day. There'll be like people will talk about traveling and backpacking after corona, and also how like people are dealing with the daily life challenges that like after the corona. And so I'm really inviting you to write us by mail, by whatever. We have a community on Facebook. It calls COVID-19 Solutions. So we can chat there and have a nice evening if you're in Israel, and a good morning if you're in the States or whatever in the world. Thank you very much. Thank you, Inon and Stav. It was amazing. I felt amazing. Bye, guys.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. It was great.
Thank you.
The link for the community will be
Bye. Thank you so
in
much.
the chat.
Thank you so much for the pleasant time. Bye.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Bye.